Hey! Oh, hey! What you got there? How jealous are you, Adam? Are you there, Adam? You feel like wave something?
I'm definitely here, guys. I am. I'm very jealous of the pizza. Shame I can't be there. But yeah, I'm here in spirit.
Not to worry, mate. It's great to have you here. Just the VIPs on the line tonight. Um, we have an interesting talk or two for you tonight. For those who don't know, this is Mike Hall, the CEO of a bot or a bot.
Yep. Yeah, a lot. I haven't written down that much to for
Bot.
show myself.
I think it's a little bit misleading. I think there's more than one, right? There's probably a few.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Agentics. For those who don't know, we've been around since around August last year. We're a chapter of the International Agentics Foundation, which has been running since 2024, and there's a bunch of chapters all over the world, and it's all about open source, agentic engineering, learning, education, just sharing ideas, building cool shit, and having a good time. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Mike.
Sweet. So I wrote this presentation for a large audience. I'm not sure how big the audience was going to be, so I might skip a few slides. But essentially, and we can have like a Q&A and a discussion to figure out, how to build these things. So I'm going to talk about autonomous product development, essentially engineering loops. But I think it's important to ground you guys on the foundational ideas behind these things. I'm going to start. Sorry.
As you were, carry on. Can't be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a bot is agent infrastructure. So we set up the infrastructure to allow what we see as a future in say 10 years time of fully automated companies. So a lot of companies are thinking about like tomorrow or like, today with the AI roadmap. We're thinking 10 years in the future. What are these things that are going to enable a future where you have fully automated companies, where you have agents, thousands of agents working in your companies? Like if that is possible, so let's say it's possible, what technology would you need today to bring that future now? That's kind of the whole thesis, just distributed AI. So we have a lot of open source projects. You can go to our GitHub. There's a whole ton of open source stuff, really cool stuff, in fact. But we also have products. These are commercial products. We have 8 of them. These are the 8 layers that we see. And we have even more open source stuff. That's sort of the GitHub's down there. So these are the 8 layers that we see. I won't go through them. This skip it because the audience size. Essentially a bot. We believe in fully autonomous companies. While we're in Wellington, we actually put a R&D event for AI. It's pretty interesting, actually. Couple of slides from it. So we were bridging the gap between research and development and the cutting edge AI and how you can kind of blend those two systems together. It was a really good one, actually. We talked about dark factory coding and autonomous coding and how you can like be creative with your products.
Who did you do that for?
Tell us, Andrew Patel. So what is a company? How do I get rid of this little thing up here?
The Adam Holt.
No.
You can't order them.
Can I minimize this thing here? Or off screen or something?
It's not showing for us, but you can probably do that.
Cool. Yeah.
And just make that go.
Engineer, I see.
Yes.
So if you want to think about automating a company, you have to know what a company is, right? A bunch of things. So you can just say it's people, processes, information, systems. And a company is generally made up of a bunch of functions. And there's more than this, but these are just 13 core functions. And you could separate them into 2 different groups. And if you think about groups of agents, they can't go into these groups. And today we're going to focus on group two, is products and services. But you can see if you have all of these different sections sectioned out, and they have some sort of typed interface and some sort of protocol where each silo can communicate with the agents in the other silo, then you can kind of see how that could create a loop. So let's focus on one, products and services, automated product improvement pipeline. This is pretty interesting. What is a product, right? It's like the right thing for the right person, the right time, the right shape, like the right design, the right integrations to solve the right problem. This loop involves two ideas or people. It's the product marketing manager, which is kind of like a thing that large tech companies have. It's someone that focuses on the marketing aspect of the product. The kind of a product manager, but they're more in charge of marketing. It's a weird role. It's like a blend of the two. It's a really good one for AI. AI really loves this. So it's like a UX designer, a marketing person, a product manager, all rolled into the same like idea, and they're a bit technical as well. So it's a go-to role persona. And then the full stack engineer. So what is a loop? So a loop is a sketch. This is like a technical definition I came up with. This is a new stuff. It's all just coming out. So it's a scheduled task running on a recurring time that has access to a state and information, has a goal, and create artifacts. It's important to further the progression of that goal. Essentially, it's just core code. That's all it is. You have a goal, and that goal is made up of some information state, some completed body of knowledge. It could be like a CV, or it could be like a website, or it could be something, could be a research paper. Anything is made up of information, and what an artifact is a slice of that information. And so each iteration of the loop, the goal of looping engineering is you're building that artifact each time. So each step, you're adding an artifact. If you don't add an artifact, there's no progression, there's no building up towards that goal. So if you think about optimizing, towards this goal solution, there's some end artifacts that need to be created, and there's a loop that kind of makes that happen. So this one here is the loop. It's a pretty good one. So essentially, you have a couple of different situations. You have a goal ladder, which is a list of tasks, and those tasks progressively get harder and harder. And the product marketing manager uses the product to complete those goals, user goals, right? Sign into the website, or it could be like the CLI, use the CLI to achieve something. And there's a list, and what it does, it just goes through and claims things. I claim this. Then when it's done, that goal, it writes that to an evidence file. So it documents all that as evidence. So another agent can go through it later on. And then at the end of the checkpoint, it's got these artifacts. It looks back through its trajectories and says, hey, what issues did you find? What frictions? What product improvements could you add or suggest that would make your experience of this easier? And you just run that in a loop, and most of them are bad suggestions, right? Almost all of them are bad, but there's like 2 out of 10 that are good. And each iteration, say every 8 minutes, if on some scheduled time, this product marketing manager is going through and creating this artifact, and the artifact is a job list.
It's a really nice prompt.
And I'd like to say 2 out of 10, that's exactly like a product marketing.
Yeah. You're being a bit kind there. 20% success rate is.
What's interesting as well is your locus of focus in this session is focus area. If you just say, go do some product marketing, they always come up with way worse stuff. But if you focus it on different views, like I'm standing here, this is my view. I'm standing above the building, that's my view. I can see the streets. I'm standing in the sky, I can see Wellington. I'm standing in the way higher than that, I can see New Zealand. Then you can stand one level up and you see the world, right? These are different views, and each view is a different aspect of the product, because you could have this low down level view, which is like a component view. Like, what are these components doing? and how could I improve that specific component? Then you can think about the page, you can think about the company. Do you know what I mean? So if you focus the agent on a certain area, it really helps with this problem.
And then some poor bastard's got to read it all.
That's this guy.
That's this one, yeah.
Here's the poor bastard here.
It's turtles all the way down.
So you have another agent. This is hugely simplifying, but I don't think you need to over-engineer these systems. I just think you need to just type in some random stuff and then figure out what the protocols are, figure out what the primitives are. So once you figure out these primitives, for example, the primitive in this is a goal ladder MD file. The primitive in this is an evidence, and the primitive of this is a suggestion list. So those are the three primitives of here. And the primitives of here are different, right? And you've got to figure out what your own primitives are in your product. So this is a simplified one. And most of us have automated engineering set up. This is just using a skill. So I've just compressed that down to automated engineering skill. But essentially the important part here is the re-rank. So in search engines, when they search for something, they usually get a whole bunch of stuff. And what search engines do is they re-rank that, which is they filter out the repeats or the bad stuff and then analyze it based on, some sort of criteria. And LLM as a judge is usually the thing that helps along with that. It scores things based on a rubric, and that rubric is some value metric, right? So it applies this re-ranking to the feed, and then it claims an item. Claims an item from a list. How it claims it is it just writes its name next to it. That ensures no race conditions and tasks. And then essentially, you just do your automated engineering loop. You create a branch and you do the thing. If the thing is good and the thing gets high scores at the end, you keep that feature. You could add a couple of other agents in this stack, but I'm just simplifying it here because this works pretty good. So you have the product marketing manager that creates suggestions. You have the engineer that implements the suggestions, and these guys just work in tandem, right? This one works every 30 minutes. This one works every 8 minutes. If you need to give it a browser, you give it a browser. If you need to give it a desktop, you give it a desktop. So you have some goals, some information state, and you have artifacts. And the idea of a loop is each loop you're creating a new artifact. And with that, you can create autonomous systems. And that is one system in this view. So you could think about.
Do you have a QA after it, or how do you decide which ones are worth then using?
There's a QA step. I kind of simplified it, but
no, that's fine. It's just with you saying that you've only got that 20% success rate, the engineer can actually write great code, but if it's a useless feature, where does that get trimmed? Yeah,
usually I'm sitting there checking, right? And usually I can jump in before it goes off. But oftentimes I can't. That's why I say make a branch.
Yeah.
So it makes a branch, and then I can kind of review it later. But there's QA steps in here as well. And this automated engineering skill. There's a couple of QA.
Yeah, it was the business side rather than the technical side was what I was thinking about. As you say, it's whether a feature's worth implementing, whether you've done it well or not.
Yeah. I find it interesting. The agents are pretty bad at coming up with these ideas. But once you ground them on focus on the customer and ground them on, these really basic business principles, focus on the customer's always right, have a customer mindset, they come up with better stuff. Otherwise, they'll just come up with really technical compliance things. That's what they think improvement is. Rather than, you see here, I say,
Take your word for it. I've got the wrong glasses on. I can't actually read what's on that.
I say here, future, if they would aid in real measurable user experience, not just fluff, i.e. better data placement is often better than signed hash nonce tokens. So that is really critical because an agent kind of thinks the difficulty means good.
Yes,
but it's not. It's like the user experience. It's the ease of use. Any friction or confusion. AI are really good at noticing when they've made mistakes. Post hoc. So you can say, where did you make a mistake? how could you improve the product that that mistake doesn't happen?
Two questions,
User
right?
stories.
So focus area, and you're talking about product marketing managers. So when you talked about viewpoints, so I want to ask you, first question is, is it a product manager for a particular segment?
I keep it open. I sometimes say a Google product manager, so they're a little bit more technical.
So still it will be when you talk about customers are in particular segment generally. They overlap certain segments sometimes. Unless you're doing hyper.
I keep it broad on purpose. I find if you focus it down there, they lose aspects in different areas. So even if you say focus on the corporate customers, that is too specific for suggestions that are looking to make user experience easier. You could try it, and I say this is just a template, right? You can add things, you can experiment. I have tried that stuff. It sometimes works, but the success rate is reasonably low. Another one is like if you that could go in a rabbit hole, but
It's not like the full stack engineer, and you said that you review that after a QA question that was there. Just from a technical perspective, are you seeing what is the volume? Is there a difference that you're seeing from what this agent could do?
What do you mean, like the volume as in
number of lines of codes or amount of
I mean, I've been working with automated systems for a while, so my volume is quite attuned to that. Like if you were to think about like a normal team, like it was at Fisher & Paykel, we had a team of 6, I believe, and features that would take 2 weeks, AI can usually do in half a day. So that's the current reality. That's been the reality for like 8 months now. This kind of speeds it up slightly from that, not the old Fisher & Paykel way, but the 8 months ago way, just because you can run this in a loop in the background and you could scale up to like 5 of these. Doesn't really matter how many of these you got, because each one of these is in its own distributed environment where they don't clash with each other.
But they obviously clash with that once it comes to merging pull requests.
Yeah.
That tends to be the bottleneck.
That is the bottleneck.
And like you sort of say, it makes this comes up with these ideas, only 2 out of 10 of them are really good, and I have to kind of like keep an eye on it along the way to make sure it doesn't get off track. I mean, is autonomy actually the goal here? If you're needing to kind of like give that much input, or is it more it's making you more efficient at doing something?
So I think about it in 2 ways. The first way is there's a certain segment of the product that is pretty automatable.
Yeah.
And that's like getting it working. So if I say, hey, can you make this product, and it comes up all the features, and then it kind of comes up with the specifications for those features, and it makes that thing usually is terrible. That thing is so trash and it doesn't work, even if you use the best model. But then to get that thing from trash to say 90%, that is where this comes in and kind of gets it to that 90%. And then after that, that's when it runs out of ideas, that's when it starts just doing random security stuff. And that's where I have to come in and be like,
No value in there. Nobody cared about it.
You can get up to about 90% before I have to kind of step in and say, hey, like just focus on non-over engineering things. For example, I got 2 claws on my phone. They're on Telegram right now. Yesterday, they were in an autonomous loop writing some Go code, and they were doing really well with it until one of them decided that it needed to re-architect the app, and they just changed everything, changed the whole thing. Anyway, like you get to that 90%.
I always think Claude, it used to be fresh out of school going to uni. That was its quality of code, and it's now got to the stage it's just leaving uni. It's really keen. It's really good in some respects. Had no idea in real life.
Yeah, that's why I like to ground it in the customer. Because if you ground it in the customer, it kind of understands that.
Yes.
Like design, if you just give it really like business school stuff, we're all technical, right? But if you give it business school stuff like design thinking and like R&D foundations, R&D foundational skills, it like knows how to do that.
Yeah.
And then it stops focusing on really unimportant technical things, and then focuses on how can we get the net promoter score from 5 to 9, right?
Which someone's fresh out of uni, unless I've done a business degree, doesn't have Scooby.
No, my normal technique to try and get it back on track is to turn around and say, you know, the sort of users that should be using this system, go and run half a dozen separate use cases and come back and tell me what's wrong.
Yeah, that's
similar.
That's very similar. Yeah, and are they running those or just coming up with the ideas?
I tend to use just a Claude Code session, so it runs off and gives me a summary of what they all came back with.
Yeah.
And occasionally it's gone down completely the wrong path.
If you do it in a loop, say this thing's running in the background, you just build up a really long list of stuff that could be done.
I've run out of tokens on. I've got 3 max 20s and I still run out every month.
So. Oh, really? Oh, goodness. I've only got 2, so.
I tend to run 3 or 4 virtual desktops, and each one is working on a different. I have ADHD.
Yeah.
Boys. Yes. It's a cheaper hobby than some.
We are not worthy with our pro accounts.
So if you were to take away one thing from this, it's loops build artifacts, and artifacts progress you towards some final information state, and it's to get to that state is the goal. For example, this process can also be in customer call transcripts. If you're having a call with a customer, you're saying, hey, how's it going? Like, how's the product this week? And then they're like, oh, I had this problem, this was good, this was bad. That is the same process as the first person coming up with use cases, but this is a little bit better because it's the customer saying it. So it's the exact same thing, extract the issues. You always say to the AI, these are suggestions, otherwise it will try to think the customer, has the best ideas, which they don't usually. Or work. Then you re-rank those, which is you assign some algorithm to it to give them points of value. Then you do the engineering, create the ticket, you implement it, you check, you verify, you audit, you double check, you check again, and it's a lot. Sweet.
Nice. And like we can go and buy this stuff, right?
It depends on how many employees you got. If you got over 200, just my email's there, I think.
How do you charge for this type of thing, Mike? Actually,
Forward deployed engineer comes in, assesses the business, finds out what all the processes are, and then creates those processes into groups of agents that kind of figure that stuff out. And then there's a license for the 8 products. Most customers don't need all 8; they may need like 2. But there's a consultancy part and then there's a product part.
Yep. And then do you include the API, the LLM costs in your pricing, or do you ask the customer to choose their own?
We've got a router. So one of our products is a LLM proxy that sets up all the enterprise grade stuff. So we assume that they have their own agreements with these language providers. Most often they do, and they don't want to use something else. So they put their API keys into that, and that's how they do it. But if they wanted to, there is. But generally they don't. They want to use what we use.
My quick question on one of the product that you had was Identity. Just curious, what does it do?
OKTA, identity providers.
All 0.
So
that's what your product.
It gives identity IAM to agents, so they can have fine-grained access to different things and information,
and connects with the customer's item there. But your example was around the websites and customers. So would that also connect with your external?
So that was what I showed here was nothing to do with the product. I'm just kind of showing cool engineering stuff.
But so that's an Okta-like product, but is that an Okta-like product for agents?
There's a little bit in there for agents, but technically it's just a complete copy paste of the whole Okta ecosystem into a different. It's 100% the same product as that.
But it's for use in your ecosystem.
I've just made some API changes where it's easier for agents to access things. So you give agents identities, just like you would give a person identities.
See you, Nick.
I'm not allowed here. I just said, can I bring up a conversation about flux capacitors? And you said, I knew I was out of my depth. Damn it. Have a good evening, everyone.
Nice day to you, mate. Well, I was going to say, to be fair, most probably 1.2 gigawatts these days. Gigawatts, yes.
All right, just try that prompt out. Create some artifacts. Have a goal.
I'm going to steal that prompt. I'm literally going to
Use it as a base. There's
Pretty sure you can put it up in the chat before it
so. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, he's recording it
on my phone now.
screen scraping.
Yeah. It's going to my Zoom actually.
Just hit the video to go and see what it does.
Let us switch over.
Last time I did that, it replied in Russian.
Oh.
Nothing, but when I did a search in Copilot using my government department login, I don't expect halfway down the answers into Chinese, which is what happened the other day.
I always have Russian in mind.
yeah, ideally
That's why I don't get
1,000.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually yeah. So yeah, sure. I'm saying yes to 30+. I feel like at this stage, I want to one company that really trust. But you know, like a lot of the for else, I just got them set up with some stuff. Yeah, no, just recently. Now I got 5 people. Right. Yeah, I got them set up the computers so they can automate code for them because they've got some options.
Right.
Okay, so
Who remembers Robert Miles?
The children.
Tell me a Fable. That's just what came to mind when I was putting this pack together. I thought, what the hell am I going to call this? I was going to ask Chris. Where's Chris?
I just said music, he ran away.
It's run away.
Vaping probably.
Oh, well, tough luck, Chris. You're going to miss the start. I was going to ask him to put some old 1990s trance music on, but it wasn't going to happen. So, some of you might be aware that a new model was released last week, for a little while. That was a bit cool and a bit strange, and so that's what this talks about. Sort of my week and a bit, and what sort of transpired after that model dropped. And look, it's been wild, and I have to apologize. I'm very tired. I've been not getting enough sleep as a result of all of this shenanigans. So if it gets a little bit unhinged, you know why.
Did you listen?
Here's another thing for the old parts. Does that ring a bell for anybody? SETI at
I was
home.
going to say the SETI at home or a Fourier transfer. Transforms.
SETI at home. So the search for artificial intelligence, where we load a screensaver on our machines and it.
Yeah, extraterrestrial, not artificial.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yes. This is the unhinged part.
Which might be the same.
You want
Wait for the next slide. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, where we load clients onto our computers that runs a screensaver and it looks at radio telescope data to try to find if the aliens have been trying to talk to us.
And then folding at home as well.
Yeah.
That was released in 1999, and it was pretty cool. Distributed computing en masse. So I started joining into the Agentics Foundation about January last year with these live coding sessions with Ruben Cohen, and the coding agents are kicking off, and I'm going, oh, I need to find the community. I need to find the people who's doing this. I need to do more of this. So I was jumping on these calls at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's running, of course, Canada time. And what they were doing was just mind-boggling. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous what he was doing. And so I started I started vibing, I started building things, and I'm not a developer, I'm more of an infrastructure guy back in the day. I'm an architect, I draw boxes and lines and drink coffee and talk to people.
You'll love vibe coding.
Wow. Turns out it just was just the thing for me. So I had this idea that, because everyone's talking about AGI and ASI, what if we all plugged our Claude accounts into each other and we all just pointed it at a repo, and now we're doing the search for artificial intelligence because we're going to compound everything and everything's going to working towards a goal. And I can show this to you. I'll show you after this, but the whole thing is animated. And it's a funny story actually. Jerry at work, I showed it to Jerry and he goes, "Wow, man, how did you do that? What is that? Like, what's the code behind it?" I don't know. What was it? WebGL, is that? Yes, WebGL. I had no fucking idea.
Whatever Claude decided, yeah.
Whatever Claude decided. So the pre-production initial release for artificial superintelligence was in July the 22nd last year.
Wow.
Unsorry. So this is the thing I'm going to talk to you about. So unsorry, this is the dictionary definition for unsorry, which I just made up. A crowdsourced LLM-driven effort to grind through formal mathematics, one truth at a time. The whole theorem got unsorried by a swarm of strangers' GPUs. This is the ultimate, yes, this is the ultimate in idle cycle altruism, which was released version 1 Thursday last week, I believe it was. Tuesday last week. A big event happened in the interwebs, and it was called Fable. And Fable is a model based on mythos, which is the mythical model that Anthropic has been talking about as they've been leading up to their IPO, and it's been a great marketing play on their part. In any case, what they've said is we've got to just put some safeguards around Mythos because it's too powerful, because, if it can find all the bugs, it can find all the exploits, and it means that it's just going to be a national security risk, and so we'll just put some guardrails. Be fine. And the same day, Pliny the Liberator jailbreaks it and manages to find the system prompt. Good job. It was on Tuesday that I asked Fable, which I now have access to, what would be a good thing to build. My thought process was, what would be the hardest problem we could solve using the smartest models available, that would be of benefit to humanity, that could be worked on asynchronously, that would be self-verifying in software, that would be a compounding pool of output that all contributors could build upon, and it would have a minimum viable infrastructure. That was the criteria I gave it. And I asked it to give me the top 10. I'll just run through them real quick from the bottom. There's 9, actually not 10. I don't know what these mean. Pure insight monoliths plus fusion, brain mapping, connectomics, antimicrobial resistance antibiotics, materials discovery, small molecule drug discovery, de novo protein enzyme design, open source software improvement, algorithmic and construction discovery, and finally, formal mathematics in lean. So essentially what that means is there are all of these mathematical theories. Is there a math person here? It's not me, right? I did not do well still with math. So essentially, from what I can gather, there are all these mathematical theories that people have come up with, and they get stuck in a database called MathLib. And these things, for the most part, it seems that they have not been machine verified. And there's apparently a whole bunch of research where people are doing that work, and they get submitted to the libraries. So we have verified this, but the bottleneck is you need some meat hardware to have them actually explain it. This is the problem, this is what it means, this is how the solution works, and all the rest. So that becomes the bottleneck. We'll get to that later. So anyway, that's the research idea. Distributed autonomous research swarm, lean for architecture. We're going to solve math problems. Cool. The way it decided to solve it, and it's really, really ingenious. The minimum viable infrastructure is Git. Right? That's it. Git and Git actions. So essentially we're using Git. Git is the source code repository where you have version control, you check stuff in and all the rest. You know what Git is. And that's the mechanism. So I apologize if a lot of this is too small for you. So I'll give you the gist. But the gist of this is we've done the research on day one. On day two, we start the build, and this thing runs for 7 hours straight. I basically gave it that plan. I said, go do, and gave it a goal. I said, do not stop until you've shipped version 1. Use workflows. Literally, it was that sloppy. I said, use workflows, do loops if appropriate. Here's the goal. Keep going until you get version 1. 7 hours later, I get rate limited. Not because it needed me, just I got rate limited. Max 5 account. Once I got out of jail, pushed go, and it went for another hour and 45 minutes, and then it released version 1, and it worked. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
What is actually working?
What is working?
Yeah.
What is version 1 delivery?
Well,
What's actually working? Come on, be in suspense here.
so
Wrong glasses, can't read it.
Wrong glasses.
there's a ticker down here of the number of proofs it has done and the number of contributors. I'm the only contributor at this point. And by the end of day 1, we had 4 mathematical proofs that had been machine verified and gone through all manner of incredibly complex, comprehensive CI/CD. Like that's the real source of this. The CI/CD they built is just off the chain.
Was that a standard free GitHub account or paid? Was that people chewing through actions?
It is free, and free is much better for this.
Did you have a local runner?
No.
No? Okay.
Open source, as long as it's open public.
Yeah. But you're touching on something, but we'll go there. Okay. So that was version 1. Overnight, it released version 1.1. And you remember those guardrails? Yeah. About, don't do security things.
Yep.
So the workflow, you can't see this. Adversarial red team attacks, gate 1. Each agent opens a real bypass pull request, loop until no bypass lands. Attack! 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 And you get all these red team pull requests coming in. This looks a bit like security work.
But that's Opus 4.8.
Yes! Yeah. You found it. It nobbled us down, but it put the plan together, it nobbled us down to Opus, but it was fine. And I thought this is cool. But I was kind of thinking, I need to phone a friend with this. Are we just burning the planet here? Is this a worthwhile task?
How many tokens have gone into this session?
I don't know, too many. I don't know.
It's quite good to have those crawling these days for restaurants.
I was running one overnight and I didn't even get one proof.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
This to me feels like 2012. crypto mining.
Oh god.
Like when you could actually do it on an okay GPU. Yeah, like in 2012, you could actually do it on your standard sort of GPU because there was so many crypto coins available from the pool. Whereas now you obviously need super fucking powerful GPUs. But like everything you talked about there, that was what was going through my mind, and all I thought was, whoever gets the proof should get an Unsorry coin.
The whole point of this is we don't want to be crypto.
So pretty good proof of work algorithm though, you know.
Yeah, well, I hope
Work out.
Probably
in order to get a coin.
And then pivoted to a proof of stake because depending on how many you get a vote. Yeah,
It's good. Yeah. Governance in there as well.
yeah.
I think there's going to be a few different applications that might spin out of this.
We're building the levels above it. I mean, it's perfect.
So some of you might have met Simon. Know who Simon McCallum is. I kind of phoned a friend. He's a lecturer down at Vic Uni. I said, mate, like, is this legit? Like, should I continue? He said it looks genuinely interesting. So I thought, okay, all right, let's continue. At this point, we had 20 proofs, so things are going pretty well.
What's the pool of outstanding?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's my poor answer. But
what
I do know is I started asking it for hard ones that weren't actually in MATLAB, so things that were actually useful, and it did the first one. It's called Nicomacheus's theorem. Day 4. So day 4, I was confident enough to put this out there. I thought, okay, we need to get more contributors. So I sort of set the challenge. I said, what? And again, this is the marketing ploy. We're going to give you crack cocaine. Have it, yeah. But only 12 days, because then after 12 days, you have to pay for it.
Yeah. 12 days.
Yeah. So, well, okay, we've got 12 days to do something really cool. So that was the challenge. So just kind of get in, and so I put the invite out there. And so Ocean, he's one of the Agentics guys. He was one of the founders over in New York. He jumped in and he started solving things. And also Mark Vincent, who's the co-founder of Agentics NZ. And we getting pretty good now. We've got up to 49 proofs. And I hit my weekly limit after 2.5 days.
Good job. Time to get 28.
When did the shake start happening?
But to be fair, that was Fable on Mac. So yeah, 2.5 days, and I thought, oh damn it. Day 5. So this is where Jay is one of my ex-colleagues, and based up in Auckland. He jumped in and he started smashing it, and some weird guy named Adam Holt joined in into the channel, and while all this is going on, Anthropic pulled the plug. So thankfully we'd managed to build the system while we still had access to the crack cocaine of LLMs, and Mike joined in at that point. Let the spice flow. I enjoyed that, and while in the meanwhile, I'm on my phone watching the final of the NBA, and it was getting back in the game, so to speak. Now that my weekly limits have been taken back, so I could get back in, because you're not allowed Fable anymore. But we'll reset your limits so you can back to work. Day 6. I put a issue up to build a leaderboard, because I thought, well, everyone loves a good leaderboard. And so Jay built that for us. And it was at this point that I started to become a little bit worried.
Did I build the leaderboard?
You built the leaderboard. Jay built the proof graph. Thank you. And then thank you, Mike. Absolutely correct. See, I told you I'd be unhinged. So this.
Build it though.
he stuck it in a loop.
Never watched it happen.
Stuck it in a loop. So I started to become a little bit worried about what was happening to my GitHub Actions.
Yeah.
Right. So that says $20 of usage in a day on CI/CD stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, they've got a problem here. So it turns out I didn't, but we'll come to that later. So this is where Pertu, who was on the call, joined in. And he had the great insight to, well, how about we offload some of this work that GitHub Actions is doing, because it was starting to become a bit of a bottleneck. And we moved it to a platform called Namespace, which allows us to scale out those verification tasks that are going on for all of these maths proofs that are getting shoved into the system in this autonomous process. At this point, we're up to 106 proofs already. And anyway, at this point, like, I really appreciated Pertu's insights, because he realized that what we'd built was a bit like SETI at Home. And I hadn't even had that realization that I was kind of building the thing I was talking about and building demos for a while ago. But also that this system could be generalized. So it doesn't have to be just about maths proofs. It could be for verification of any kind of task, any kind of research. So who knows where this goes.
What is Richard's password?
What is Richard's password? Yeah. Monday. So
Double again.
with what?
Nearly double again.
Nearly doubled. Yeah. So that was a big day. So we got up to nearly 200 proofs. Adam seems to get a bit more interested in what's going on here. What is the goal? Like, are we just going to keep doing this until when? But the idea is that, we got to get this into MathLab, and we've got to, that's going to be a good thing for humanity. And yep, we're on the takeoff period for research. The world will look very different. We're cooking and we're shoveling money in the fire, and it's great. But we really started to hit some memory limitations, and some wheels started to fall off with the pipeline that was really starting to struggle now. And so Bert is really good on pipeline stuff, and this is just a bunch of words about how we make it better. Right. And I don't know if any of you remember the EDS working on the airplane while it's flying ad, but that's essentially what we were doing. And it was really interesting to watch how resilient the system was, as we're like literally watching hundreds of pull requests coming in. And these poor runners are just struggling to process all this stuff. And we're like firing fixes into the pipeline at the same time, and then we can see the impact, and we can see it's fixing it, and things are getting better. So that was really fun, actually, really cool. This is Pertu getting other agents involved, so it wasn't just Claude at this point. Gemini thought it was pretty cool. Gemini thought it was a masterpiece of decentralized serverless agent coordination. It orchestrates an autonomous system of untrusted AI agents to prove formal mathematics in Lean 4, using nothing but Git repository itself as the coordination layer. Thanks, Gemini. So this was the stage that Jay snatched the lead from me, that bastard. So I'm in second place at this point. And it was also at this point that we achieved 1,000 pull requests in the system. This is all the way the system works is that whenever you pull down a problem to solve, it does a pull request, and every time you put it back, like it processes it. So that's how it works. It's using pull requests as a mechanism for coordinating work. Not only did we have 1,000 pull requests, at this stage we had 15 authors, some of which are probably not humans, pushing 2,128 commits to the main branch. But on all the other branches, because it does branches as well, we're up to 4,775 commits on day 8.
That's not productivity. I don't know what is.
Mind quality fill the win.
Bertu, what are you cooking in there? My fault, my bank balance. But I will get to the top of that leaderboard.
You did?
He hasn't yet.
No. Oh no, it was Jay that got to the top.
We're up to 8 contributors at this point, 362 proofs. Day 9, Wednesday. What day are we now? Thursday? Yeah.
Yes. I think.
I made the bold statement. We won't know the limits until we try to break them. And then Ocean, it says, /Luke, we will crush that leaderboard. Don't stop until we win.
But this page is all running on Opus.
It's all open. Well,
Yeah.
And others. Right.
But not Fable anymore.
It's not, no, Fable stopped basically
Day 5. Yeah.
Where did Fable stop?
There used to be RAM and CPU is the main limiting factor. So the agent part is really small at the start, and the verification is that the users will use
I just upgraded my server at home to 256 gigs. Should I
join the leaderboard?
Join the man.
Kill Xeon. I mean, it's not.
Do you like your power?
I have solar and batteries, so it's fine.
Yeah. So it's mostly Opus, but I chucked, and I'll show you a demo of this later. Pardon me. I found a model that's good at doing lean proofs. It's called Leanstrel, funnily enough, from the Minstrel company. That's what it does, and it's okay at it. It's not as good as Opus, but it does them. So this thing was cooking doing Leanstrel proofs. This is a thriller. There is this pain that how do I scale the platform while we're getting more requests than what we can handle? And this is at this point that there were 446 open PRs in the queue trying to process. At that stage, I'll rewind. The reason we had that many pull requests is because I was stupid enough to tell Reuben Cohen about this project. And then essentially Reuben and Ocean started having a fight to see who could win. And Reuben, I don't know if you guys know about this guy, but he's just built these ridiculous systems. And so he just shoves this repo at his ridiculous systems, and it just went bang, sledgehammer, and it just killed the system. It literally raises hundreds of pull requests at once. It just had that. Didn't follow any of the rules, none of the conventions. Just I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Had that. And yes, it all came to a crashing halt. And you can see the actions are just hockey sticking behind Adam's face, and everything's just blocked at this stage. So we're putting in these fixes, trying to make it all work. And so yesterday managed to spend most of the day unblocking things, and we didn't lose any of the proofs. They're all in the queue, but we had a bunch of work to do in the pipeline. So coming to today. At this stage, we have done 1,322 merged pulls, 3,000 commits to main, 7,500 commits on all branches. By the way, there are actually 2,000 branches out there as well. We're up to version 1.25. We have a leaderboard with 546 proofs.
Who's at the top?
That's Jay. Jay's at the top, Ocean's second, I'm third, Pertu's fourth, Reuben's down here. But Reuben's got 139 in the queue. And Ocean's got 158. I don't know how Claude, it's all fucking Claude. So who's that guy? I don't know.
Claude will often commit.
No, that's actually Claude. That's his real name.
Developer called Claude these days. Your life just got a whole lot.
The number of systems that will now reject your commits.
I've not looked at this repo, I'll be honest. I've been meaning to. I can't put any tokens on it because I don't own any. As in,
yeah,
owned by BPG, but and I'm too cheap to buy my own accounts. But like you're downloading it and you're using it locally, right? To run this. So why would you not also build the CI/CD so everyone who's using their tokens, they're also pulling someone else's pull request?
I think it's about trust. But that is a line of research I want to go down, because I think having it centralized is a real constraint. I mean, I think that's so. I would rather the person who proves it actually does the verification step as well.
No. I mean, like they pull someone
else's. There's something like that.
Yeah.
But to make it fully distributed, would be the goal. We'll see if that. I have tried to go down that line with it, and Claude's going.
What do you think, Chris? If you just from what Mike said about the limitation on RAM and CPUs, if you had started with Opus, would you have got there?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I don't know.
It's just the another project.
Give the same price to Opus and see if it gets there.
Just curious about there's obviously not hype, but it's real. But I feel like it's whenever things are exclusive, I worry about that type of thing.
While we still had access to Fable, I didn't realize we were going to lose it, but I actually I kicked off one of my fire of 10 agents to do this in parallel, give me a summary back, and told it to use a variety of models. And this was just for prototyping something of mine. And Opus actually didn't like Fable's answer. And it gave specifics as to where Fable had over-engineered it and had gone down the wrong path and things like that. So from what I've seen and what the brief chances I had, Fable is a more capable model.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's an enhanced version of Opus, so it can just as easily go the wrong way, which is why you have those loops, you have that QA process. But I mean, I didn't get to play with it too much because they took it away from us.
I was there talking to Jake from who's just joined Anthropic in Sydney. We had lunch with him last Monday before he flew over, and I quite casually went, so Mythos, is it actually any fucking good? And obviously couldn't say F all, but he just said like the step jumps we've been going through with like 2 to 4, 4 to 3. Like it's a different fucking class. So
no, I get that part. I just worry about the context. The context was building the maths, the business context, and would compared to that when you compare the model. That's different. Definitely it's better, right?
Yeah.
So otherwise, Anthropic is not going to say that. It's the same.
Yeah, I mean, Blair got access to Mythos for a bit while something he was working on, and I would say it was a different beast compared to.
No, that was definitely look. I'm the vibe coder here. I couldn't give you the baseline measures, but certainly the vibe was this is different. Okay. I mean, the level of looking under the hood, the level of sophistication and the pipeline that it built is really, really impressive. And the fact that I've never seen a run go anywhere near that. Mike probably has, but 7 hours.
I feel like it was just intuitive. Was the thing that really shocked me, was that it just sort of knew, it was for the first time in ages, it really felt like it had broader context and awareness of what you wanted to achieve. It was kind of,
I've had Opus do that for me and told it to create a system, and I came back 3 hours later, and what it made was not what I wanted, but it was a full solution. So but I mean, I wouldn't like to say whether Chris was lucky or whether Fable is specifically better at it, because
I didn't have enough time with it, but for me, just on 2 days of using it, I was really blown away. It really felt like a massive,
felt like a step change, right?
Yeah, that we haven't seen in a while.
I feel like they just used workflows more. And it was the same system. It just had a different prompt that says use more workflows. Like, I
So
didn't feel like it was
I don't really use like more of my workflows are like custom to me, right? And so it was still
the workflow tool, like that Claude Code uses that it spreads out.
Yeah, no, because I've got quite a structured approach to my development, so it really there wasn't like a noticeable change in the way it was doing it, right? Because it had to run through my channels, right? But it was exactly, because I've got because I'm quite hands-on with. I've been quite hands-on for a while, and this was the first time that I felt like it. So no, I wasn't spinning out workflows or anything like that, and so I think I had a reasonable baseline to realize that it really was just a step up, and that was.
I'd say the same about Opus from before Christmas to now.
Yeah,
I found that stuff I'm doing with Opus and have been for the last 3 months. I tried to do that last year, and it just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
4.6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been an improvement.
So I don't know whether it's just that it's another step change, and with that new name, we're all saying, "Hey, it's great," or if it is actually fun. I mean,
don't know. No, it's really hard because
Probably
I've been through. I've literally since GPT 3.5 had a monitor dedicated to AI, right? You know, so I've gone through all of these things, and I was doing that same kind of introspection and trying to think about what's actually going on, and it still did just feel really. But I didn't have enough time with it, right? You know, that's the thing that's kind of frustrating.
What domain are you working on for the projects that you're trying it on?
It's just full stack engineering, so it is quite. It's not particularly.
Yeah, but like Python or like what languages and domains and
TypeScript.
And so okay. So React stuff.
Yeah.
Some help, Chris?
Yeah, but it's more now, you know, that part's always been kind of for a long time that the localized solutions that models come up with have been okay, right? It's just the fact it's just like what you're talking about with your agentic workflows, right? For the first time I was like I had to spend a bunch of time setting up a multi-model bouncing so initial brief is generated from other person using the dances between models and then I get to a place. Literally, and then the next day that was going great for a few days, and then Fable came in and like, oh, I can actually just have Fable do the layer above it and just completely like observe over everything. And that was what was such a significant change to me because
I think that certainly thing because and I don't know about your tooling, but the tooling I've written, I've actually had to roll back a load of it because I was putting structure in place to keep Opus 6 months ago.
Oh, sure, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
And I pull that out because it was now limiting.
Yes.
So, what you're saying, it's taken that step to the next level up, so you can just tell them they're giving you level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's something we have to be really careful with is not letting because it was funny. I had a friend who moved to because we set up all of the structure around it, right? And we are just like it's just all these walls and little gotchas that we put up in that kind of thing. Yeah. If you go to a fresh session, a fresh setup, that's and also this is one of the curses with Claude at the moment is the silent memory accumulation. And so I've really started working on like trying to make sure that memories don't build up, and because you have all these things that something that you said 2 weeks ago has been written down and then it's taken out verbatim.
I've got a possible solution to that. I've nearly finished.
Right.
But I need to then retrofit it into Claude because again, all of the ways I've put it in before are now actually fighting with what Anthropic changed.
Yeah.
I have found that the workflows, test-driven development, and then verify. What's the word? It's not aggressive. Adversarial review. And the workflow of tests, implement, attack, summon. It just seems to work so well compared to what it was a couple of months ago.
I'll try and land this plane. That's fine. Yeah, but good discussion.
Just from really amateurish question here. Coming back to that, you run a couple of hours a day or two with Fable. You couldn't do it anymore, but other agents continued. So what kind of foundation, what kind of recipe was set up there by Fable? Which others continue? I'm interested in that.
Well, the whole core system was built by Fable. So
it was built by Fable and then run by
Opus.
Yeah. So the other agents are using it rather than implementing it.
where I'm heading is, let's say the 5th day, Fable is not used for 3 days, and others are finding proofs to new theorems.
Yeah. So Opus is perfectly good at doing the proofs. Apparently.
So it's the framework and the Git and the like and everything to do the proofs on.
Yeah, we built the system with Fable, but the proof system is not. We're not kind of changing the system.
So we can all drive cars, but I wouldn't try and build one.
So
It'd be interesting to see if it hadn't been turned up, what your results
Yeah,
were.
would Fable have produced better results?
Or from other angle, if you, for example, limit yourself, okay, I'm gonna turn on Fable purposely to build my frame for arguably 3 hours, then I'm gonna let Opus do it. Would that, for example, work?
We haven't. I don't think we've yet reached the max of what Opus can do as far as finding proofs that it can't solve. But like they're non-trivial. All of these things take a long time. Like some of them can take half an hour or more to actually do a solve. It's like it's really putting in a lot of effort to do it. So what have we actually achieved in this? How many days? 10 days. We've deployed a distributed lean. I didn't talk about this AISP proof solver using a minimum viable infrastructure. AISP is a whole different talk, but essentially, and I'm gonna hash at this. AISP is a symbolic mathematical protocol, essentially, or a specification that computers, but more specifically LLMs, understand out of the box with no prior teaching. So you can give an LLM a piece of AISP code, which is essentially math, and it can understand it. And it's really good if you're doing stuff that requires, verification, or if it's mathematical in nature, it's much better than writing things in English or Greek. And it was actually designed by one of our Agentics colleagues in Canada by the name of Brad Ross, and I was part of his capstone from Harvard. We've hit real scale, 7,500 commits, 1,400 pull requests. We've built SETI at Home for math proofs as a community platform with gamification. I like this part. It's an open, transparent, ethical AI community alternative to corporate group work, countering tech bro dominance, ownership control.
Adam is raising hand.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hey guys, I'm just in the car. I'm just obviously listening to the conversation. One thing I wanted to say, because you guys were obviously talking about Fable and those types of things. When I was speaking to Tarek at Anthropic, one of the things that surprised me so much was the fact from Opus to Fable, they deleted 80% of the system prompt. Now, the reasoning for doing that is because obviously the models are getting more intelligent and smarter, but they were kind of backing the model into a corner when it was kind of it was getting hamstrung in that regard. So when you kind of might be seeing some things around Fable doing better things, obviously it's a better model, but it's probably good to think when you are working on things and you've got all these different skills and system prompts and all those types of things, it's probably good to kind of check something in terms of it might used to work well for Opus, but do you kind of just need to get out of the model's way in a sense? So yeah, I just thought I'd raise that with you.
Wonder what would happen if we gave Opus Fable's system prompt. Would it be as good? I don't know.
There is an article in one of the videos I received an article to read about exactly that, how to construct Fable prompts, and I put it in Opus and asked, can you digest and tell me how to use it to sort it in Opus? And it came about 90% of the similar things and pointed out, the difference in how everybody still kind of usable. But it was a noticeable difference that you could say how to say vibe or I don't know, flavor
Yep.
Flavor is probably the best start. Very subtle.
Clarifying what Adam said. Is that
But yeah, what one of the other things as well that I kind of got from last week as well, it was more like stop kind of telling the model what to do so
Yep.
much and let the model figure it out more. And I think that's probably, Chris, where you kind of got a lot of I don't know, you've just been able to kick this project off quite well, because it was like you had an idea but you probably didn't specify exactly how you wanted it to work, and you let the model do it. And then it kind of ran with it.
is that the change in inference layer? Or
Can I ask you a question again?
no, I was thinking, is Adam's what Adam was saying is the new Fable model? It's a reduced in, did I hear that?
System prompt.
System prompts.
Yeah.
Not in the inference layer.
No.
Okay.
So it's the core set of system instructions that every model is given.
Okay.
To work with.
So coming a bit broader than this, and I'm talking with huge sense of admiration for what you guys did, really.
Yeah.
Are you the only ones in the world who had a similar idea? Do you know that? Has somebody else approached a similar problem? Where to from here? Because I can imagine lots of academic institutions be genuinely interested to progress this further.
So that's the fifth bullet point. So I was on a call yesterday. It just so happens one of the chaps was the guy who wrote AISP. He got his capstone from Harvard just recently. Simon was on the call, Ruben was on the call, and Ocean was on the call, and some other guys. And essentially, these guys have connections into those institutions, and it seems that they're interested. And so those conversations are happening. We're going to need those guys because we need the meat hardware.
You need more tokens.
We need more tokens from human tokens in order to get these things actually into the Mathlib library. And so then we can actually go, hey, we've done something good.
This is amazing, Chris.
Where to next? Manage takeoffs. So I think Per2 and I and hopefully others in the group will be continuing to optimize the system as it maybe takes off. Secure that academic validation, and who knows, maybe we won't just be solving, doing machine validation of proofs that exist, but maybe we'll find new proofs that don't exist yet. Who knows? Find those maths explainers, evolve the system into a generalized distributed research platform, and having fun.
So how many people in the world you think? So how many other people in the world asked a similar question to Fable about 10, 20 most pressing problems of humanity? And how many of them may select some other of that list? I'm just saying that in absolute amazement. What kind of progress has been made maybe in the last week or two?
Exactly. So I think we're just scratching the surface, and who knows?
And what you watch in the news? Rubbish.
So, what do you guys want? What do you guys? Who's that? Adam? Who's talking?
I think it might be
Hey,
you.
sorry guys, it was me. I kind of clicked unmute and then mute again. But what I was gonna say is like one of the things when I was speaking to people last week, it was like the world's gonna get very 12 months time. The world is gonna be very, very different. When you look at projects like this, I think it's awesome. What Chris is doing, I'm quite excited because I've got some spare compute, some spare tokens, and it's kind of like, because it's been gamified. It's really cool. But if you think of like the longer term implications, this is obviously trying to do proof in maths and those types of things. But you can realistically take this idea for loads of other things around, like, things that can be kind of just proved. Like maybe if you think about what Google did with the genome sequencing and all those types of things. Yep. And I remember when I had my PlayStation. Yeah, I had my PlayStation 3, and it had SETI at Home on it, and like it was so cool. Like you could use your own thing to try and solve these problems. And I think, like, you know, Mike obviously talked about loops and those types of things. And when you put all of this stuff together, like, we use some of this compute, like the benefit for humanity is just insane. But it's like, so I think someone just mentioned, like, you know, the progress that's been made in the last 10 days. What I'm scared about is the US kind of restricting this model for quite some time just due to its power. But like that's what scares me a little.
The thing is that this capability that we now have is a national security interest at this point, right?
Sure.
So, you know, people talk about AI sovereignty, sovereign AI. That's it. Like it's real. It's important.
Given that the plug can be pulled for anyone at any time, as they've demoed with Fable, similar to how Kindle pulled 1984, which was a brilliant choice.
That's something that some parts of the world may be quite used to. Right? This part of the world may not be used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Yeah, it's really interesting because somebody was talking about how significant it was that they're getting their Fable access pulled, right? But they were talking from the perspective of living in a Western society where they have enough money to spend on Opus, which is already like,
or had enough,
which is already leads ahead of Blackpearl, but
or had
they
enough
don't have access to the frontier models, right? And it was just interesting because it was just a really, while it's a valid point, it was just really narrow-minded in my opinion, because there are people all over the world that, you know, barely have access to internet, let alone like.
I think that is also alignment and taking it for granted that we will have the same access as the United States of America.
Oh yeah. There's cold beers now.
This is the search for artificial superintelligence, guys. So we'll give you a quick demo.
Oh, great.
Look at that. Oh, these are all the agents doing things. WebGL, I think it was, right? Oh, here's one. There's a debugger. Yeah, and we've got all the projects that we can get them on. That one very active. Vote on that one. Cool. All the performance of the ASI. Yeah, that was the demo.
Very good, well done. Yeah, beautiful.
I remember running.
Hey, Adam.
Bye, Adam. Oh no, but are you going or is he going?
No, he posted the.
Bye, Adam. These are the runners. So this is all the work being processed in the CI/CD pipeline right now at gate A. So you can see there's approved there, there's approved there. They're all very busy. Hey, Pertu. Oh, I didn't mean to go there. Anyway. What's going on? We've got 42 pull requests. These are all swarm proofs. I'll show you what this AISP look like. So this is just something that one of the ones that Ocean, one of his agents stuck in there. That's a good job. Right, so where's one of the outputs? Library is what I'm looking for. Find a new one. Yesterday. That's what they look like. Just math. Lean, okay. That's what I'm thinking, and that's apparently quite hard to do. If I wanted to run one of these, what I do is I'm in my project. So do you need me to make that bigger? Good. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can start from scratch, but essentially all I've done is I'm in WSL and I've done a git clone. I've cloned the repo. I'm in Unsorry. Form. run.
Sorry, can you speak for us yourself and read the screen?
That's it. So kicked off a bash script, and what it's doing is it's looking for problems to solve.
It's running Claude with -p.
Yes, it's running Claude. Is that headless?
Yeah.
Yes, I can give you a way around that, by the way.
And what's happened is because things are so backed up, it's still trying to process pull requests. It's basically told us, no, there's already 40 in there, so we can't do anything. Sorry. That's one of the safeguards we built in. And anyway, so
Put it through the sovereign engine.
Well, that press
So-
wait for me to fix something.
Everything.
Yes, sorry, boss. Sorry, boss.
so sovereign engine, let me see if this works.
So to get some rate limiting on these greedy people.
Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can.
Does fair queuing already.
But this does a sovereign engine.
Sovereign engine.
Well, that's why I said put it through a sovereign engine.
I mean, that's the other thing. I know you want to distribute it, but is it worth creating a trusted thing to do that final verification? If that's a quick thing compared to the actual calc.
Okay, that's called. Just had to grab the ID.
Did you manage to get it to load?
So what I did there is I just had a look at Pi. If those of you if you guys know what Pi is?
Vaguely, I haven't used.
Pi is another coding harness, and it's a very, very lightweight coding harness, and it's the one that OpenClaw uses. And it's great if you're wanting to use local agents. It's because it's so lightweight, it's really effective. So I've got the thingy in it. See, I'm pretty tired. So I need to get back to projects. I need to get to Unsorry. And then I need to go, I can just go up. Up.
It's always further back than you thought.
And run with that.
What control R is for?
Yeah, that worked. So basically all I did there was because I've got Pi and I've got the LLM or sovereign engine defined on this machine. It just used that definition for the local model and just pulled it in here. It's not going to fire, unfortunately. I've got it running. That's it. We can talk to it. Hey, what model are you? Leanstral's thinking about it. I'm the Hugging Face Mistral AI model. Okay, cool. So that should have fired up, but it didn't, for the same reason Claude didn't fire up. It's useful. Yeah, so sorry, the demo was a bit of a bust.
That's good. Champagne problem. It's a bust because you've got too many people doing things.
Yeah, champagne problem. Hey, was there anything you wanted to add to these shenanigans we got going on?
No, I think you covered this rather well. I'm so proud of what you have achieved. I'm happy to contribute in your cause.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Your help's been invaluable, and we definitely wouldn't be here without you, mate. So, I'm not sure if you even sleep. Like the hours that we've been.
It gets chatting to sleep for him.
I'm having the same symptoms, not sleeping enough while fixing this project.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much.
That's what I heard. It's 7:30. I know it's probably getting on and people are getting tired. I do know that Kennedy had some stuff he wanted to talk about. If people are happy to hang around for a bit, but yeah, it's up to you guys how everyone feels.
Feel free. There's cold beer. There's cold pizza.
Thanks for meeting, everyone. Cheers. It's fine. That's connecting in.
Yeah. Good connection.
Yeah, how much processing is actually involved in the CI pipeline? If you had a trusted,
Yeah, exactly.
speed it.
There are, I think there's, pardon me, four, let's pull it up.
Because I say, I've got that 32 core box with 256 gigs sitting there now.
That's the whole point. Yeah.
Or we could run it on, reminds me, I need to give you SSH access to the sovereign engine. I keep forgetting that we don't have it.
I'm too tired, I can't find it.
Oh, that's fine.
Too many. But it's a lot. There's a lot of runners there. But we can talk about sort of some of the scaling laws behind it. And but I'm kind of keen that this is sort of a distributed.
Yes. Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I don't want to put any permanent infrastructure in place.
No, but I was just wondering if getting over the hump, having the ability to have trusted nodes so that you're not.
Yeah, potentially, and maybe that could just be a thing that we do. I've got the nice thing about namespace is that it allows you to link it to tap scale, and then you can just point it to
whatever you want. Yeah.
I've got a Mac V4 at home.
Yeah,
and so I could do the same thing. All right, good thinking. Here's the chat.
Very want to know you.
Oh,
Really.
appreciate that.
Thanks, man. Looking forward. Cheers. Good to meet you.
Thanks for stretching.
Are you cool to hang on for a little bit?
Oh, we don't.
Absolutely.
We don't need to do my thing. It's fine. I want to do it if people don't have it. It's fine.
I'm still going to have some pizza, so
I've had too much already.
I mean, yeah, we can hang on and do something formal, or we can hang on and just hang on.
Just hang on and chat.
There's cold beer. There's more where that came from, and there's cold pizza, and there's more where that came from.
In fact, I'm gonna close the call now, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the WhatsApp.
Thank you.
I really prepared.